we're going to put headphones on, okay?
Ooh.
But nothing fancy with headphones. We're going to just find a guided meditation. So whether you're getting an app like Headspace, which keeps you on track, or Calm, or just grab something off of YouTube or Spotify or Apple Music or some shit.
There's tons of stuff out there now to
And
explore.
we'll make our own eventually and shit like that. But
Bridge Beats, what?
oh yeah, Bridge Beats, baby, coming for you with different wavelengths and frequencies and different binaural beats.
Just imagining you
like
doing like a, all right, motherfucker, we're gonna go third eye, baby.
Open that bitch up. Pretend your fucking heart is a lotus flower. You've been abusing this bitch for a long time.
So
All those fucking coke rocks you snorted up in that motherfucker. Now you're gonna turn that into love.
Yeah, we can have like a
Turn that cocaine into love. The Bridge Podcast. I'm Sean Nixon.
Jonathan Matthew. How you feeling today?
I am
Got him.
fan-freaking-tastic, dude. I knew you were doing that one that time, and I'm feeling great. Cause, you want to know why? Because it's my choice. Everyone's like, well, I hope I have a good day today, and we're going to see what external circumstances dictate if my day is good or not. I'm having a good day because I fucking said so. And that's the bottom line.
That's
all
the
right?
bottom line.
So Monday, we started a little meditation series. This could go on forever, but we're doing just meditation week this week, like Shark Week and shit. So part 2 is going to be your how-tos, but your how-to on this one is going to be 101 from the beginning. Okay, because so many people understand now because it's getting mainstream, it's getting popular.
Yeah.
Like it's new and shit, which is
like,
hilarious.
Like
to
people
me.
have been doing this for thousands of years.
Literally. How do I start meditation? I know it's good for me, but I don't know how to start. I don't know how to do it. Or I've tried it a bunch of times inconsistently, wasn't good at it, couldn't do it, wasn't for me. Or I really gave it a real shot for 2 weeks and I just didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
So we're going to get you to feel things. But here's the thing. The goal is not really to feel things.
Yeah.
But if you do it right, with intentions and no expectations, you do feel plenty awesome. Like I'm at the point where I drop in immediately. Bro, I can drop in the car, parked.
It's like a paratrooper, just like
Yes.
jumping out and just diving right in.
Right. I'm fucking
No fear.
jump right
I've been
in
swimming.
now. Precisely. I'm fucking Michael Phelps in the pool in this motherfucker at this point. Because I practice every single day, sometimes 2 times a day. Used to be 2 times a day religiously. Now it's 1 time a day religiously and the second time
If time permits.
when time permits and on the weekend for sure. All right? So 101 from the beginning, the first thing I would do. Now, it should be scheduled at a certain time, and we'll get into times, but either way, we're going to take our phone, we're going to put it on airplane mode and get it away from us because we don't need any electromagnetic fields around us or anything like that, nor do you want a call coming in or a text or having any thoughts on that, right? So we're going to turn the phone on airplane mode, put it down. You're going to sit or lie down comfortably. Now, you do not need to be in any lotus position, any fancy fucking pose with a $150 yoga mat and a meditation cushion. What I would recommend, honestly, is just laying down. Maybe not in bed, because you'll drift off to sleep, and naps are nice, and naps are good, and naps have benefits.
Yeah.
But it's different brain waves, and a nap is not the same as meditation.
No,
okay?
yeah, it's the most important thing. One of the most important things when setting up is you got to be comfortable, right? Because if you're thinking about how your low back hurts, which it may, right, depending on position. If you're practicing a seated position, a lot of people think it's on the ground, but you're really supposed to have the hips elevated, right? So with the meditation cushion, you're really on the edge of the cushion, so your hips are tilted forward, so your spine can be in its natural curvature. Most people think you're on the cushion, and then you get this rounded low back position, which helps nobody. But it's really important to get comfortable.
Just comfortable.
So lying is great
There's
because
no right or wrong,
you don't have to think about it.
Right.
If you're already tight and you haven't had a physical practice that opens you up, like yoga or flexibility, then just lay down.
That's what Yogananda was talking about. He's like, I just do yoga all day so I can sit in meditation longer.
If you read the sutras, there's very little on asana or physical practice,
Right.
and the main thing is posture should be comfortable and
Feeling good.
stable.
Neutral
right?
spine.
That's it. Yeah,
Because it's a big deal.
Are you stable? Are you comfortable? Good.
So point being is, if you're going to be on your chair, because you don't have a fancy meditation cushion, which is fine, sit to the edge of the chair and sit as tall as you possibly
Yeah.
can. So you're not slumped over and hunched over like a computer desk. But here's the thing. You can just lie on the ground and just breathe through your nose. So on day 1, you're going to breathe in through your nose as deep as you can 7 times. We're going to go 7 breaths just to create a habit, just to show up, just to punch the clock, just to tell your body this is what we do now. The same as the first day you ever ran. You didn't run a marathon.
No.
You ran whatever you did, half a mile, quarter mile.
Right? The guy in the actual marathon runner.
Right. He was like, we're going
to die, so I'm going to run.
And so you're just creating the habit. So 7 deep breaths in through the nose. The nose is very important at this point. I kind of don't care if you exhale mouth or nose. I like to...
When we get into breath work, there's differences between doing them both.
Million different things.
I'd probably start just nose and nose.
I would go nose and nose to start.
Nose to nose.
It's belly, chest, head. So you're filling up the belly with air. It rises through the chest. It gets fill it up as much as you possibly can. So long, deep breaths. And we'll get into like breath counts and stuff when we get into the breath work series next week. But we're just going 7 deep breaths in through the nose, belly, chest, head, letting the exhale fall. So maybe not even a forceful exhale. Just letting the exhale fall out. 7 times. That's it.
Keep it simple.
Next day, or as many days as you need to create a habit, when you want to increase, just another set of 7.
Yeah.
Maybe even 3 sets of 7.
Yeah. So about frequency here is what's going to help build a habit.
Yes. Before we had time and bells and whistles and fucking pads and cushions.
Good, he's like, I'm going to go for an hour.
Right. That's nice.
That's available to you, great, but it's more important to be consistent, long-term, frequent meditations.
Give away all my possessions, move to the desert.
Yeah, I just rented out this great cave, Airbnb that I'm going to stay in.
Airbnb cave on your second day.
Airbnb caves.
That's fine if you want to, but maybe not 101. So we're going to go with 7 breaths, a couple of cycles of 7. All right. Then maybe before we move on to structured time and guides and headphones and all this other stuff, we're going to learn how to become aware of our body.
You don't say.
Okay, because we are not our body. We are operating this body.
Heavy machinery.
This is fucking some space equipment here. This is some nice vehicle of machinery.
Yeah.
All right, what did Buddha say about the body being a vehicle?
Yeah, your body is a vehicle for awakening. Treat it with care. I might be misquoting that.
But here's the thing. We're awakening to the fact that you're just not a fucking sack of meat sitting on the couch. Yeah. You're a spiritual being controlling this human body.
Yeah, like imagine people just driving around in Ferraris and Lambos or bulldozers not realizing that they weren't the bulldozer.
That's what a lot of people are doing. A lot of people are fucking walking or sleepwalking using their skin as pajamas right now.
Which is...
All right? And it's not as cool.
Fucking Pacific Rim. Imagine you're thinking one of those things and you're just walking around and just like bumping into things. Like...
Not as cool as being aware that you get to operate this amazing machinery that just happens to be a Homo sapien, right? So we're going to learn a body scan. So many different ways to do it. You could open up your heart first. You can get your third eye throbbing, maybe with some taps and some intentional breaths. But here's the thing. Your energy flows where your intention goes, right? So we'll start with just the bottom up, right? Joe Dispenza taught me, I'll say that first and then we'll go with the bottoms up. Joe Dispenza taught me like your eyes are closed and you're breathing through your nose and you're following the breath, right? And then he's like, find your ears in space. Where are they in space? And you become aware.
Proprioception.
The proprioception and awareness without your physically seeing your eyes of where your ears are, and then maybe the tip of your nose, and then maybe a hand and another hand. So you do a body scan of awareness, bring awareness, the proprioception of your nervous system and your brain to your body. So maybe the easiest 101 way would be starting from the feet. Would you go individual toes or just feet?
Yeah, always toes.
Okay. Would you start from a baby toe?
I like to go baby toe to big toe.
Okay.
Baby toe is the hardest thing to feel, so you can also go big toe to baby toe.
Right.
But to touch on like the head Joe Dispenza one, that's a really great. That's a good like option as well, because when people think about who they are, they think about their brain, their head, their eyes, right? They think about this is me looking out right here. You don't think your pinky toe necessarily, even though it is part of you, right?
You.
So that's a really good. Option
he does that to kind of find and light up the pineal gland. He'll have you find your ears, find your nose, and then have your pineal gland in the middle and light that bitch up with some breath work, right? Your third eye chakra, and then light that bitch up with breath work to flood the body with DMT, and then go root chakra.
So that's actually how it's supposed to. But that's actually, when I first started getting into this,
just guidelines.
No rules, right? But it's really important to have the third eye first, which most people don't realize. Because when I first started, I was going chakra by chakra, root from root,
which is fine.
Which is not wrong, right? Again, rules are just structures that
Right.
give you guidance, right?
But if this baby's open, that's why I was saying I go heart or third eye first.
This one's awareness, because now I can become aware
of the rest of this vehicle.
So the third eye and the root chakra have like an intrinsic connection.
Right.
To
Your
one
eyes are for looking. The third eye is how you see.
Yeah. So we're talking about seeing or visualizing the subtle body, right? So which is our chakras.
That's it. So anyway, we'll go little toes all the way up to the big toes, then the foot, then the ankle, then the calf, then the knee.
And if you're like if you're a visual person, like I'm a very visual person, or I like to use visualization too. When I first started, like literally imagine like a Xerox, like scanning up your body, or like what I used to imagine doing is as I'm breathing, because it was a very like it's hard to imagine air, right? Because it's just see through. I would imagine actually like a plume of like smoke pulling down and filling the space of my toe and my foot. There's like some sort of matter that's going into the area, right?
Okay, that's another beautiful thing to talk about, like the liquid energy and colored energy coming either through your hands and feet, through your nose with the breath. Point being is use your imagination.
Yeah, whatever works for you. And we'll get into guided meditations, but there's different ways to visualize things that may be helpful, less helpful. Take what works, discard what doesn't for you.
So for now, we're breathing in through the nose, belly, chest, head, and we're trying to get some visual imagination. Bring a color in with it. Eventually you bring feelings in with it, which we'll get to for more advanced levels. But bring a color in with it and visualize each body part and do a body scan to get awareness of your body. We always talk about awareness of everything else.
It's the first step. Yeah.
First step of everything. So we're bringing in awareness first of the breath, because that's what you have control of, and then of the physical body. Okay? So now that you know how to do a body scan, we're going to move up to level 2 or 102, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to put headphones on, okay?
Ooh.
But nothing fancy with headphones. We're going to just find a guided meditation. So whether you're getting an app like Headspace, which keeps you on track, or Calm, or just grab something off of YouTube or Spotify or Apple Music or some shit.
There's tons of stuff out there now to explore.
And we'll make our own eventually and shit like that. But
Bridge Beats, what?
Oh yeah, Bridge Beats, baby, coming for you with different wavelengths and frequencies and different binaural beats.
Just imagining you
like
doing like a, all right, motherfucker, we're gonna go third eye, baby.
Open that bitch up. Pretend your fucking heart is a lotus flower. You've been abusing this bitch for a long time.
So
all those fucking coke rocks you snorted up in that motherfucker. Now you're gonna turn that into love.
Yeah, we can have like
turn that cocaine into love.
Cocaine recovery meditation.
Dude, that's a real thing.
That's real.
Dude, I seen a whole thing where a yoga lady goes and teaches prisoners meditation, and dude, change it. He's like,
I bet.
He goes, the one guy, just like fucking huge black dude, gang member with tattoos. He's like, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't know I could sit still and breathe. He's like, first day, I was like, this is the stupidest fucking shit ever. And she goes, I never felt so good in my life. He goes, I'm gonna do this for forever.
Dude, now you're reforming.
He's like, I feel good, bro. But that's the point. Is you're changing life. He was so he literally admitted, he was like, first day, I thought it was the stupidest hippie bullshit fucking ever. And he goes, I fucking love it now.
That's what my Dr. Lemmy, he worked with prisoners too, and as a psychologist, but also a meditation teacher, and like, and it's free. There's no like excess financial burden on the prison system to teach people to meditate. I mean, you can get, and it allows teachers who have valuable information how to meditating.
You say free, sounds like it's tapping into the profits of the fucking system that put people in there on purpose
free, right?
To profit off of them.
Talking about 422.
So why are we going to fucking rehabilitate for free when we can keep them in there and take people's tax dollars and whatever? But that's not the point of this episode. The point is, guided meditation would be probably our next step. So you know how to breathe, you know where your body's at. Now you're following along with the voice on the guided meditation. So many different ones. Regular one's for sleep, one's for anxiety, one's for depression, one's for fucking manifest, whatever you're trying to do, abundance. Kind of almost doesn't matter. The point, once again, still at this level, is consistency.
Yes.
And to focus on one thing. Building habits and focusing on one thing and learning that your breath comes in through your nose, filling up your belly, then filling up your chest, and then expanding it and breathing in as deeply as you can through your nose, letting the exhale fall, and you're only concentrating on your breath. You're picturing whatever you need to picture in your imagination, bringing in colors, picturing the breath. Like I said, I sometimes picture the breath coming in as blue, filling everything up, exhaling as red, so you're breathing in the good shit, breathing out the bad shit. Liquid energy coming through down your head, through the toes, whatever you want to do. All right, but the point is focusing on the breath, creating habits, and visualizing different things. So guided meditation is cool because it gives you something to
a little structure.
Stay on track. Structure.
Right?
Thank you very much.
They're like bumpers in a bowling alley, right?
Oh, I like that. You start with the bumpers and you start with the fucking training wheels.
Exactly.
Training wheels. I like it. So then the next level up is going to be binaural beats. Okay, binaural beats at this point, once you learn how to breathe, learn how to body scan, binaural beats are going to change your brainwaves, literally your brainwave state. Your neurology is going to change. So this is where you start feeling things. You can change how you feel with your breathing and the brainwaves.
Yeah, and going back, we always talk about a couple things: awareness, and we also talk about everything's vibration, right? So everything is vibrating, and your brain waves vibrate at different states, and different states correlate with different things, right?
Yep.
There's like 5 main brainwave states.
Real quick,
right?
so the 2 things that popped into my head, we're going to go over the brainwave states. If you've never tried meditation before, all you're doing is creating a habit and learning how to breathe. And if you've done meditation before, and maybe you weren't consistent, maybe you were, but you didn't feel anything, you're going to concentrate on breathing deeper and properly and add binaural beats. So that's what everybody's trying to get to. Different brainwave states. So whether you're using binaural beats or just want to know about some
just curious.
neurology, right? Theta waves is when you kind of just wake up in the morning, or a hypnotic state, or most importantly, your meditative state.
Yeah.
So that's probably the one I would start with if you're putting headphones on, is theta waves for your binaural beats for meditation. Delta waves are when you're in deep sleep, or even, which is nice, trying to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Alpha is like your waking relaxation stage.
So if I were to close my eyes now, but I'm not meditating formally, I'm just kind of closing.
You would get into some
lying on the
alpha
couch,
brain
relaxed,
waves.
yeah.
Lying on the couch is alpha waves, which is nice. Beta waves is kind of focused, which is in your most of the time.
Probably what we're doing right now. We're in beta here.
100%. And then gamma is your peak mental state. So that's going to be like your flow state, just a peak heightened state of any kind. Whether you're a monk in a peak meditation, Michael Jordan dunking from the free throw line, you know what I mean?
Surfer, like riding the wave
Literally.
in a 50-foot wave, you know?
Right. You're tapped in, and your brain is super focused.
Yeah, your PIA. We're going to put a peak mental states. Your mind's operating at maximum capacity. Everything is focused.
Vegan. So, next level up, whether you're keeping the binaural beats or not, we're always keeping awareness and focusing on the breath, and maybe you're going to add a chant or a mantra, okay? So a mantra is a word or a phrase that you repeat over and over again to not only put something in the subconscious, but more importantly, to focus on one thing. So this is another like intermediate level that can really help. It really helps me focus on certain things. And once again, you can repeat love and abundance. If you're trying to feel better and manifest love and abundance, you can repeat.
Use this one a lot. Let go.
Letting go. I was just about to say. You're always, bro. This is what happens when you're tapped into the field.
Our brainwave states might be merged.
There's a couple of people that are merged in the same quantum field, and he can pull thoughts out of my head because it's just in the collective consciousness that we're all tapped into.
The wavelength.
So same wavelength. So I breathe in, I say let, and I exhale and say go, and I have gratitude and forgiveness in my heart. All right. Same thing. You're chanting, just repeating over and over again. I am love and I have abundance, or just love and abundance, and you're feeling gratitude in your heart because you are loved, and you're loving, and you love yourself, and you love the world, and you understand there's nothing but abundance. Because if you're in fear and scarcity mindset, the universe is not going to serve you as well as if you have gratitude for the abundance of this beautiful earth.
One thing meditation really teaches you too is that you can only ever really focus on one single thing at a time, right? So in your regular monkey mind state, you may think that you can multitask, but you can't really multitask. You just end up bouncing from thought to thought to thought.
Right.
To thought.
That's literally true.
Right?
So some people bounce better, but you're only focusing on one thing.
But you're still only ever focusing on one thing. This teaches us to really focus on one single thing so we can let go of that one thing eventually.
That would be the next step, is becoming aware of things for acceptance and detachment.
Yes.
Because now we're getting into like an intermediate level.
So that's what the body scan is too. I'm only focusing on my pinky toe for this moment until I get to the next thing, then I'm focusing on that, right?
Right, one thing at a time.
One thing at a time.
And the brain kind of
Baby
remembers
steps.
that and scans it. So then there's also individual mantras for each energy center and gland and chakra.
And we mentioned like the last episode how like the idea of what meditation is like sitting in lotus pose chanting Om, right? That's like the famous mantra, right? But it's funny because most religions have mantras, whether you consider them or not. Like Christianity has mantras.
That's what I was just going to say.
Judaism has mantras.
The first music,
Islam has mantras.
Of course, the first music ever is Gregorian chants.
Gregorian chants, yeah.
I mean, they are vibrating their vocal cords and their vagus nerve to expand their consciousness. And
so it's not just nice. So if you're averse to Buddhism or Hinduism or think it's only like Indian mantras, which people think of, like Indiana Jones, like Om Kali Ma, like that's you think it's that. like you said, it can be English. It can be something from Christianity, right? It can be from where, if that feels good for you and you vibe with that, right?
Literally.
And that works for you, use it.
I love it. Yeah, because even Om is one of my favorite. I like Ram as well. Ram is kind of easier to chant.
Yeah.
Or, but even Om, because then that's going to light up your throat and your heart.
Yeah.
And you get nice vibrations going.
Good vibrations.
And more importantly, it gives you one singular thing to focus on. So it's like two birds, one stone. Now we're efficient. Once you learn how to breathe and the breath becomes subconscious and second nature and autopilot, then you can just, it's basically humming.
Yeah. It's, and when you do like a full, and if you feel weird doing it wherever you are and you like shorten up on the Om, like, because you're worried about it.
Well, that's your first problem.
That's your first problem.
Is don't worry about judgment of self.
If you're in a space for whatever reason that you can't go
that's
a deep one,
right.
you can even just hum it. Like
in your head, sure.
Because like you said perfectly, it's about the vibration, not about the word itself. It's what the vibration is created from saying the word.
Right. I like that. Let's make a distinction. If you're in public or somewhere or somebody's in the house or whatever, and you want to do it in your head, that's great. But if you're alone, let your freak flag fly, baby.
Yeah, baby.
Do your fucking thing. Don't worry about judgment specifically of self, because then a lot of people have shame and they have trouble letting go of judgment from others, or even false perceived judgment of others when they're really not or wouldn't, but you think they will. Yeah. First of all,
defense mechanism. Right?
It's a defense mechanism.
Survival.
But why do you give a rat's dick about what the fuck somebody else thinks about you?
Rats' dicks don't even give
They
shit about
don't,
rats' dicks.
and that's the thing. But I know that's hard. So the first thing that you can do, and it is your homework, is to let go of judgment of yourself. So when you're by yourself, smile at yourself in the mirror, say positive things about yourself, and get your chants and your mantras going.
Yeah.
Okay? Because not only that is going to give you one thing to focus on repetitively so you can get into a meditative state, but that vibration, now we're talking about feeling things. If you got your binaural beats on,
Makes me nervous.
You're breathing through your nose, and you're chanting at the same time, you are going to feel like you're on fire.
Fucking fire.
Like you stuck a fork in the fucking electrical socket, okay? Because that's literally what it's doing, is raising your vibration and expanding your electric field, your energy field around you. Yeah. This is hard science, not hippie fucking Hindu woo-woo nonsense.
But they just happen to be the same thing.
Oh, coincidences everywhere. Okay, we're bridging.
And you mentioned Ram too, and Om, and people may wonder what's the difference there. And there's a couple, each chakra, which we'll get into it later. We've already mentioned it a bazillion times,
maybe
right?
Run through them real quick.
Each one has its own correlation. There's mudras or hand symbols too that go along with it too.
Oh, dude, the mudras, that's important.
Yeah, there's a lot. From yoga, from Tibetan Buddhism, there's different ones.
Because now we're getting into the fascia in the nervous system as far as being an antenna to receive these things.
Real things being connected,
like
right?
if you have your palms down and you just turn your palms up, you feel so much different, because now you're conducting the electricity. Then if you close those circuits off, not even anything fancy, whatever, now you have a loop of energy that's going through your body.
And again, this is not just yoga, Indian people doing this. In Christianity, you put
100%.
your palms together. In Judaism, put your palms
you've
together.
seen every single old school picture of Jesus with, I forget which one this is called, but fucking boom. Well, once again, that is another one.
Jesus probably been like, yo, what's up, bro?
Well,
I feel like Jesus
he
could be
would
served.
now, of course.
Of
course. Which is fucking cheating, by the way, because you can just fucking do it without a board.
Yeah, that's right. You were there learning how to like paddle. It's like, do less, and he's just walking like.
And he's just fucking cutting up fucking 100-foot waves and shit.
In his sandals.
And everybody's like, Jesus always fucking showing off.
It's all good, man.
Cocky
Yeah, but the chakras, each one has a correlating mantra with it. So we talk about root chakra, base of the spine, Muladhara chakra, Lam.
Lam is the first one?
Lam is the first one. Vam is the second one, sacral chakra. We got solar plexus chakra is your Ram. Then we have Yam is the heart. Hum is the throat. And then the last two, third eye and crown, are Om.
Which is the vibration of the universe.
Good vibrations.
And you're becoming one with everything, okay? So that's your chanting, your mantras. Even you can get into...
Like specific...
Well, we don't have to get that specific.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about yantras real quick?
Yeah, yantra. So that's a very different one. Most people don't really even understand know what it's
mantra,
about.
Repeating one word over and over
again. It's a focus on the sound vibration, right? The yantra is a visual focus, right? So if you've ever seen sacred geometry or like the
fractals and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Or Sri yantra is a really famous one, and they have a dot in the center and all geometry around it.
Well, I got an Alex Gray fucking tapestry with the dot in the center.
That's a
and you
doozy.
get real trippy real quick, dude.
So Yantra is an open eye meditation, which you don't think of when you think of meditation, right? So it's essentially focusing on a single spot, which is that little dot. Each chakra actually has different yantras that can actually go with it too.
Mm-hmm.
But you're doing the same exact thing that you would for meditation, except your gaze or your drishti in yoga is focused on that single spot. And so the whole point of a yantra is the same thing as a mantra, or the same thing as focusing on the breath. It's just a different medium, right?
Singular focus.
Singular focus. So as I focus on that point, and you can even try this without even meditating. Just it happens a lot with optical illusions. People do it a lot with those little crazy optical illusions.
Yes.
You focus on the center,
Same
right?
science.
And all of a sudden you start to see different things move. That's more like a visual trip. But what you do with this, which happens too essentially, is that the more you focus on this, the deeper my focus, the depth is on that, the greater the breath becomes, or the scope expands, right?
Nice.
And even in Hawaii, they have the kahunas, which were the basically yogis in Hawaii back in the day, had what's called Hakala Meditation, which is very the same thing. It's an open eye meditation. For that one, you're kind of focusing on like the horizon level. You can be seated, standing. The kahunas would be in this state all the time, right? Of just expanded awareness. So you focus on a single spot in the distance and slowly begin to get into your peripherals. Essentially, is what you're doing, right? So like right now, I'm focusing on. We got our little light set up over here, and I'm focusing on that spot. And once I feel really intently focused on that spot, I can begin to expand my vision without losing focus on that spot. To Sean, I can see him clearly here. I can even see back here. And so we talk about expanding awareness. You're literally expanding your visual
awareness.
So if you're very visual versus auditory or sound, this can be a really useful tool. I
love that you mentioned that, because that's why we're throwing out different stuff, because there's different ways of learning, different ways of learning anything. And now we're trying to learn the practice of meditation. So that requires consistency, habit building, frequency, and adapting to which style works for you.
Yeah.
So the same way that not everybody is a fucking reader or a note taker.
Yeah.
Some people are kinesthetic learners, auditory learners, visual learners.
Yeah.
That's why you try different things. But all paths lead to the same place.
Exactly. And you can even use, one thing I like to do and kind of just discovered on my own meditating is, if you've got, especially if you're in a place, it's ideal if you can find a quiet spot, but say you're living in like a noisy apartment and you've got crazy stuff, you live in the city, right, and you can't escape that noise, really. You can even use that noise to your advantage. Focusing on one sound, probably the most consistent sound. So if you got an air conditioner on, like the little hum of the air conditioner, focus on that. And just like you with the yantra, expand your auditory awareness to pick up other sounds while still focusing on the air conditioner.
Ooh.
So now you're not just listening to the air conditioner, you're hearing every single sound while you focus on one sound, right?
Love that.
So that's expansion of awareness in a different way.
Love it.
Yeah.
And the reason why singular focus is so important is because everybody thinks they're stressed, depressed, anxious. Oh my God, I'm stressed. Oh my God, I have so much to do. It's because you're focusing on 50 million things.
Of course.
And you're letting the ego drive the bus, and there's thoughts running through your head like crazy. So
part of that is the way technology is programmed to manipulate our brain, right? Is our 3-second attention span. It's just
if that.
So if you've got a kid with ADHD, or if you're an adult who has ADHD or ADD, practice meditation, singular focus, right?
Singular focus.
It's not a
Expand your
disease
awareness.
or a death sentence.
No.
It's something
that you have to become aware of and heal yourself.
Yeah, and you can do something about
and
it.
you raise your vibration, expand your consciousness through different practices.
Yeah.
Okay? So, chanting, it helps. Binaural beats, it helps. A mantra, it helps, because you're focusing on one thing that keeps you in that meditative state. Next level up is when we're traveling in time. Your body's not going to travel in time. When people talk about a time machine, time travel exists and is legit.
Time machine.
But a machine, right, thank you.
Body's a vehicle for awakening. It's a vehicle for time travel, too.
You're not stepping into a machine like in the movies and gunning it to 88 and
You're
going
telling me
back.
Bill and Ted was a lie?
Well,
Keanu would never lie to me.
Well, Keanu wouldn't, but the producers certainly would. And so what we're going to do is we're going to leave the body in the same time and space in 3 dimensions, and we're going to either astral travel or lucid dream or get into different shamanistic ceremonies in this next level. So you can induce lucid dreaming, and guess what? I've done it, and guess what? It's like everything else. It takes practice.
Yeah.
That is more of like a, not physical, but manipulative, where you can control your dreams, and then meditating in a dream state, essentially, and controlling things. Astral travel's a little crazier, where your physical body's staying the same and your astral body is coming out. You can see your body laying there. You're like, holy shit. You go to different times, different spaces, different dimensions. and come back. Once again, this is very advanced stuff. Plant medicine ceremonies where either a shaman or in the right set and setting, you're taking medicine for a certain reason to get deeper into meditation. There's different points for lucid dreaming, and there's certain ways to do it, and maybe we'll do a whole episode on that another day.
Yeah.
Astral travel takes a lot of practice.
But again, it's, like you said, it's all just repetition, practice, and
these
singular
are just
focus.
advanced levels of singular focus of meditation, and eventually you get to a samadhi, which is a God consciousness, oneness with the universe. And that's interesting. You can get that with so many different... I mean, you can get that with music, a flow state,
You can have
sex,
it
accidentally,
After
a near-death
car accidents.
experience. Right, thank you. Once again, stealing my shit. Plant medicines, clearly, or meditation.
Yeah.
Okay? And that's just... It's... Man, talk about impossible to describe.
It's not meant to be described.
Instead of... You're everything and nothing at once, and it's not meant to be
the observer merges with the observed, right?
That's
so
it.
There's no difference between it, right?
You're here and nowhere. You're everything and nothing at the same time.
Yeah, and in yoga, that's the eighth limb of yoga, is samadhi, that final state. So believe it or not, the ultimate goal of yoga is not touching your toes. Or doing a
handstand in $150 yoga
or
pants.
doing like a single leg pigeon, flying pigeon, right?
It's connecting to
that's
the
pretty dope,
universe
but it's
and
connecting to the
letting you
universe.
know that you are God and God is inside you and you are the universe.
So
and the
there's like
universe
really
is
two
inside you.
states of like samadhi. The first one is really like complete mental awareness. So this would be like I have expanded awareness, but I'm still within my mind, right?
Yes.
So that's a very powerful state.
Sure is.
And then there's also the God consciousness. Well, that's the highest one where there's everything you dissolve, which I think is the word you said before. You dissolve into oneness, right? So there's no difference between me and the laptop.
It's very interesting.
I am me. I am the laptop. I am, right? So that's what it is.
That's eventually a higher goal of ascension for the species. But let me just tell you, if you think you want to die, you don't really. Because being a human being and feeling the feelings and going through experiences is a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Not that eventually we're not going to ascend. And
we'll-
not that the
but we'll
powers
cross
that be... We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Yeah.
And not that the powers that be aren't fucking pulling the parking brake on our ascension and our evolution and our consciousness growth. But only you are in control.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
That's it. And you can only prevent your raising or lowering of your vibration. So don't let anybody else fuck with your consciousness. Because they're trying. So don't let them. Because you are in control of this vehicle. And it is
Awareness
you
first.
that has personal responsibility of your health and happiness in this human experience. Okay, so we don't have to go too deep on lucid dreaming and astral travel and shamanistic practices and stuff like that. But they're real. They're awesome. It works.
Then they can help facilitate your meditation practice to
they sure
to higher
am.
levels. If you're
They
curious about exploring that, you don't
sure
again
is.
have to. You could just do regular sitting meditation for that as your only form of meditation.
Only form. 100%.
be
And get
completely
there.
Fine. Yeah.
There.
There.
Hilarious. So we've built habits. We know how to breathe through the nose. We know how to become aware of the body. Maybe we use a guided meditation as a beginner. Maybe we use a guided meditation as more advanced. We're probably using binaural beats because it's a nice, I don't even want to say cheat code or hack. Supplement, thank you. Better word, because that's literally what it does, a supplement. We can bring in a chant or a mantra to keep us focused and get a vibration going. And eventually, we didn't even touch on, so then you can travel into the future in the mental state and create your own reality and create your own path. And the quantum field has limitless possibilities that you can manifest and put yourself on by visualizing exactly what you want and, more importantly, exactly how you're going to feel. Yeah. So you're grateful for that, and you get your heart and your brain vibrating at the same frequency, and you're grateful for what you want as if you already have it, and then the universe will provide it.
Yeah, it's like Joe Dispenza says, it's not manifestation, it's not visualizing what you want. What you attract is not what you want. It's just how you are. It's your state of being.
It's a state of being. So you do it during meditation, you do it during journaling, eventually you do it during sleep, and then the key is to live it, talk it, and be it throughout the day.
We were just talking about Michael Jordan before we in the pre-stuff, and he knew he was the greatest basketball player of all time before anybody else proclaimed him to be.
100%.
Right? And he couldn't have never done that if he didn't already believe 100%. He was. And it doesn't just happen by accident.
And 100%. And that's the same thing with fucking Tom Brady and Mike Tyson and everybody. You ever hear every early Mike Tyson interview? I'm the greatest. I feel bad for them with their primitive skills coming in the ring with me. They're as good as dead because I'm the greatest. He's like I don't even believe it sometimes, but like I believe it. He's like, I don't even want to say it, but I believe it. That's what I think he said. He's like, I'm just the greatest of all time. Because you say that, and some people are like, oh, that's weird, I'm not that, it's cocky, whatever. You're putting that into your subconscious.
Yeah, there's a difference between, it was a great thing I saw too, like humility, empathy, and kindness aren't things you can proclaim yourself, they're just things observed by others, right?
Ooh.
So when you think you're not being humble by doing that, you can't ever proclaim your own humility, right? It's just a matter of how you behave. So you can still believe you're the best at something and still be humble. You can still believe you're the best at something and still be acknowledge your weaknesses, right?
Acknowledge weaknesses and strengths. Because humble, once again, is that coin that has two sides. So the shadow side of being humble is proclaiming and embracing what you are fucking good at. And saying, yes, I am great at that. And then, like you said, when other people pour on compliments, you don't be cocky about it. You
say thank you.
You say thank you and you become humble of it. But you're also not going, no, I don't do that. I'm not good at that. It's like, you clearly are. So now you're not being humble on the shadow side.
It just takes awareness of that coin.
That's it. Right? Awareness of what you actually, that's self-awareness of what you're good at. If you tell me I'm good at the fucking trombone, I'm going to laugh at you because I'm not. And if you tell me...
Objectively is as relative, how we judge things, right?
And if you tell me I'm good at something I'm good at, I'm like, thank you. I know I'm fucking great. And my subconscious acknowledges that.
I acknowledge my strengths, right?
Acknowledging weaknesses and strengths. Everything's a two-sided coin, even being humble. So claim your shit. Be proud of yourself. And because the other people that are walking around cocky saying, I would do this and I would do that and I would do this, they're ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like in that movie, it's like in Soul. Remember when he's in the barbershop and he calls up the one dude?
That's the best.
Who always hates on everybody? He's like, oh, he's clearly got some unresolved issues going on. I see
what's going on here. He's making fun of me because he's got unresolved issues and shit. He's like, I like this game. I like this human game. If you haven't seen Soul, phenomenal, dude.
I love that. That's a great movie.
Phenomenal. Because the lessons in there, oh boy.
Talk about a kid's movie.
Kids movie. Bring your tissue box too, by the way, while you're at it. So kind of to wrap up, there's 50 million, there's unlimited times of day you can meditate. But here's the thing, I'll give you a couple. Number one would be schedule it in every single day, an appointment with yourself. Because the only person that you owe anything to and to prove anything to is yourself. And that's who you want to be accountable to. Personal responsibility, your ability to respond to yourself, right? So schedule it in. Schedule it like any important work meeting, like any workout, like any fucking lunch, breakfast appointment that you have, okay? So it's a scheduled meditation because people schedule exercise, which is physical exercise. So you need to schedule meditation because this is mental exercise, all right? You can get into emotional and spiritual levels of it, and it does help the physical.
For sure.
But this is the same way that physical exercise starts as physical and helps the mental, eventually helps the emotional, and when you get good enough, helps the spiritual, but that's deeper and deeper into the layers. Right?
So you don't have to worry about that because everything's already connected. So then, when you're doing your mental exercise, that helps the physical, and you can get deeper into the emotional and spiritual. So 100%. Meditation is your mental exercise. So schedule it like anything else. That would be my number one thing. And it would be ideally same time every day in a sacred space. So just comfortable. Once again, we're going full with the nice mat and the crystals and the sage and everything. And I go all out. If you have it. If you don't, just a nice, comfortable, quiet space. Right? And eventually you add your fucking... like we said, the Buddha was under the tree in the middle of nowhere. Jesus was in the fucking desert.
Dude, outside meditation, I did mine at the park yesterday. Oh, that's a whole nother level, dude.
Stuff. Picking up lots of stuff, right?
Whole nother level, dude. I got the fucking sun was out, no shirt on, fucking breathing under the tree. Bro, that's a whole nother level. But here's the thing. Scheduling meditation, number one. Number two would be first thing in the morning. You get up, maybe you go to the bathroom, but what you don't do is check your text, emails, inbox, all that fucking TikTok bullshit, right? You go right into meditation as soon as you wake up.
So
it's a big deal.
In yoga, it's called the Brahma Muhurta. It's a very like sacred time.
So it is
3:30 to 5:30 a.m. It's just the kind of
good
magical,
energy.
Auspicious time. And we talked about too. We're also in a theta brainwave state
already when you wake up.
So yogis knew this before. And like there's like a formal time in yoga. It's like 1 hour and 36 minutes before sunrise, and it ends 48 minutes before sunrise.
So those are ideal times.
But if you can get up first thing whenever you wake up and do that, you're going to be in a good spot.
Every single day for what am I on? 6 months now, at least. Maybe I started in September. Something long time. Because I've been meditating for a decade. Haven't missed a day in about a year. when it used to just be like here and there.
Like a really formal, disciplined.
Well, at one point, let me go back to the beginning. Formal discipline was twice a day.
Yeah.
Not knowing what I was doing, but I was the most disciplined.
But
in my
disciplined,
life.
yes.
Then turned into I knew it was good for me, but I was only doing it once and twice a week when I had time. But I was focusing on financial goals and other physical goals, which was fine. Now I'm on 1 year of not missing a day, and I'm on 6 months of wake up, take a piss, go right into meditation. First thing in the morning. Point being is you are not going into your ego mind and saying and letting the to-do list go and then getting all emotional about what he said, she said on the text and your to-do list for
Look
the
at
day.
the emails and all of a sudden
emails now you're writing emails in your head.
And now you're being pulled
responses
to
being
all
pulled
different
everywhere.
sorts of thoughts.
So you just
focus is no longer singular.
Boom.
Right?
So you go from a dream state, which is almost no focus, even though that's a whole separate thing because there's plenty going on in the dream state. But you wake up, you're already in theta brainwaves, and you go right into meditation. That would be recommended if you could, because you're really juicing up your energy for the day.
Best part of waking up is the folders in your cup, bro. It's
Dude,
meditation.
best part of waking up is binaural beats in your cup, baby.
Oh,
Getting
yeah.
some breathing
Oh, yeah.
exercises first thing in the morning.
You're really preparing yourself, your mind, to experience your day at the best capacity.
literally.
Right?
So you got scheduling it like a workout. First thing in the morning before you fucking talk to anybody, yell at anybody, pick up your phone, open up the laptop. Okay. Number 3 would be at night before bed is like another sacred time. You're winding down. So in the morning, and this is what I just started adding because Kelly told me to in so many words.
Yeah.
I don't know if she suggested it, but that's what I gathered from her wisdom.
Yeah.
Was I always been doing the morning
Yeah.
because I block off that sacred space. And then I drink my tea, and then I go 100 miles an hour for fucking 20 hours in a row.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing now is adding in a second mini yoga session.
Second breakfast.
Second breakfast is the shit. Second dinner is the shit.
Yeah.
But second yoga meditation at night. So now you're decompressing, wiping off the fucking whiteboard,
Yeah.
decompressing the day, shifting gears down into the parasympathetic nervous system, and winding down for bed.
Yeah, I kind of do like a inverse of my morning routine and my evening. So in the morning, it's meditation, journal, and then physical movement. And then at nighttime, it's physical movement, journal, meditation. So
I was just about to say that, and I
reverses.
never even thought about it until you said it, and I was just about to say
It's
it.
the inverse, yeah.
Is I go, yeah, exactly. I go meditation, yoga, journal in the morning.
It's like spiritual, emotional, mental, then physical. Then it's physical,
I didn't even
mental,
notice
spiritual,
that, but that's what I do.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then
Doesn't
I
happen.
journal, yoga, meditation, bed, and you just reverse it. Because it's funny how it's like natural to me.
I didn't even, me neither. I didn't even think about it until like I observed it.
And then
I
you
was in my
observed it,
routine.
and now I'm observing it because you said it. So
Yeah.
I like that. So anyway, in the morning, let's go over that because that was beautiful. Because let's recommend it for people's routines. Because we talk about you have your schedule and your routine during the day, but not enough people have, and we talked about it on some of the earlier episodes, like a morning and a nighttime routine.
Yeah.
Because part of that is getting into your circadian rhythms because your hormonal states, your neurotransmitter states and your brain waves are doing different stuff morning and night. And that's when you capitalize and either, like we said, decompress and shake off all that bad energy or juice up some good energy for the day. Whether or not you're manifesting or healing or doing any crazy stuff in your meditation, just energy-wise, just expanding your field and clearing your field.
And for like, and the reason like I initially ever created a morning routine and evening routine is because, you know, we're talking about personal responsibility is really a relationship with yourself, right? And so what do relationships require? All healthy relationships have boundaries, right? So I'm creating a boundary for my whole day of experience. The morning boundary, when I first wake up, that's a boundary, right?
Yeah, nobody's touching
that ritual. In the evening.
You or nobody else.
That's my ritual. That's that boundary. So I've set boundaries around my middle day, which is going to get hectic no matter what.
Oh, grenades are going to be going
But
off.
on the top and the bottom of that, or the beginning and the end of that,
Nobody's touching that.
yeah.
And then, all right, so real quick. So I wake up, meditate, yoga, journal. Then at night, I come back in, journal, put the journal down, do some yoga, then meditate, then go to bed.
That's it.
So that's fucking highly recommended. If you can't do that because you already have either a super hectic and busy or already have a bedtime and nighttime routine, then schedule it in like a workout. But that would be what I would recommend.
Yeah, and again, like we talked at the very beginning, it doesn't need to be, you know, and both of us probably have more lengthy meditations, yoga, stretching, journaling practices.
Oh, yeah.
5-minute journal, 5-minute meditation, 5-minute stretching. It's 15 minutes.
Oh, bro.
Maybe not even, right? Seven
People
breaths.
are like, I don't have an hour to work out. Like, yes, you do. But now you're saying you don't have 15 minutes to fucking write down what you're grateful for, breathe through your nose, and stretch?
Yeah, make it attainable. 5 minutes. You can do all those things, and you're off to a good start. And just do that repetition, right?
Huge.
Y-U-G-E.
So then, real quick, just to wrap up, the last thing would be, since you're hectic already and you should have a scheduled time, the other thing you can do is a sacred pause throughout the day. Maybe 5 times throughout the day,
yeah.
maybe 1 or 2. You take 2 minutes, put the phone down, put the laptop down, nobody's bothering you, and do your 7 breaths through your nose.
Yeah.
Or put a timer for 2 minutes, or put the beats on for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And just literally 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Breathing through your nose.
And if you got a long to-do list, sometimes I'll even just take a single, like I'll be walking to go do something, I'll just stop. I'll stop myself, and I'm not going to do anything until I set my intention.
Intentions.
Right?
And here's the thing. How long should you meditate? Maybe 20, 30 minutes every day, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're busy, and then you should meditate longer.
Yeah.
Think about that. All right? So we will see you next time. Peace.